In the twilight years of the 15th century, in a small town nestled in the Rif Mountains near Chefchaouen, Morocco, there lived a girl named Aisha. Born into an exiled Andalusian noble family, her early life was marked by both privilege and displacement. But it was these very circumstances that shaped her into a legend. From a young age, she immersed herself in the ways of diplomacy, strategy, and culture, skills that would one day make her the most feared and respected woman in the Mediterranean, known to history as the Pirate Queen. When she came of age, Aisha wed Abu Hassan al-Mandari, the governor of the city of Tétouan, a place perched at the crossroads of the Mediterranean. There she bore him 2 sons and settled into what seemed to be a comfortable life. However, the tranquility of her existence was shattered when her husband passed away. Now a widow, she could have retreated into the background, leaving the reins of power to her brother-in-law. But this was no ordinary woman. Aisha took full authority, assuming the title Sayyida al Hurra, which translates to the Free Lady. With her sons too young to rule, she stepped into the void, becoming the de facto leader of Tétouan. And her rise to power was not merely a matter of inheritance. It was a revolution in a society where women were often relegated to the domestic sphere. But Sayyida was more than a ruler. She was a warrior, a diplomat, and a cultural patron. Under her leadership, the city flourished, its economy thrived, and its walls were reinforced to withstand any siege. Yet it was on the high seas where she truly made her mark. For the Mediterranean in the 16th century was a dangerous playground for trade. European colonists were expanding their empires, and their greed knew no bounds. They plundered coastal cities, disrupting the flow of commerce and endangering lives. But Sayyida al Hurra would not stand idly by while her people suffered. She assembled a fleet of swift and sturdy ships, manned by skilled sailors and armed to the teeth. Her targets were the Portuguese and Spanish vessels that dared intrude into Muslim waters. And her attacks were as swift as they were precise, leaving the European powers with nothing but tales of the lightning-fast raids of the Free Lady. Even the mighty Ottoman corsair Barbarossa, famed for his own daring exploits in the eastern Mediterranean, sought her alliance. He recognized in Sayyida a kindred spirit, a fierce defender of her people, and a master tactician on the waves. Together, they dominated the western Mediterranean, forming a formidable alliance that struck fear into the hearts of their enemies. Sayyida's naval supremacy was a testament to her strategic brilliance, and her fleet became a symbol of the resistance against European colonialism. Her tactics were as diverse as the ships in her fleet. Sometimes she employed hit-and-run strategies, sending small, nimble vessels to harass larger trading ships. Other times, she coordinated large-scale assaults, coordinating with Barbary pirates to overwhelm heavily laden merchantmen. Her raids were not just about plunder, though the spoils of war often funded her public works projects back in Tétouan. It was also about sending a message. Every captured ship, every defeated squadron was a resounding declaration of her power and defiance. She was not just a ruler cowering behind a man's title. She was Sayyida al Hurra, the Free Lady, and she commanded respect, not just for her lineage or gender, but for her strength and intellect. Yet her influence extended far beyond the high seas. Sayyida was a shrewd diplomat, a quality honed during her early life in the courts of Granada and Fez. She understood the value of alliances and the art of negotiation. When powerful leaders, including the Sultan of Morocco, tried to dictate her marriage or challenge her authority, she stood firm. She refused to bend the knee to anyone, not even the Sultan. She faced down threats, negotiated treaties, and built alliances, all while preserving the independence of Tétouan. This was a period when most women in history were confined to the private sphere, expected to be seen and not heard. But Sayyida's voice boomed across the Mediterranean. She held court, issued edicts, and made decisions that affected not just her city, but the entire region. Her court was a melting pot of cultures, a reflection of the cosmopolitan nature of Tétouan. Scholars, merchants, and diplomats from across the known world gathered there, bringing with them ideas, goods, and stories that enriched the city's cultural fabric. It was a center of learning and trade, a beacon of tolerance in an age of religious fervor. Sayyida's rule was not without its challenges. European powers coveted the riches of Tétouan, and their navies regularly disrupted the city's trade. But through it all, Sayyida remained steadfast. She fortified the city, built schools and mosques, and continued her relentless campaign against European colonialism. Her story is one of resilience and inspiration, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Yet as time marched on, Sayyida al Hurra's star began to fade. The tides of history were shifting, and the winds of change were blowing across the Mediterranean. The once mighty kingdoms of the Moors were succumbing to the relentless pressure of European expansionism. And Tétouan, despite its valiant defenses, was not immune to these forces. As the city fell, so did the legend of the Free Lady. She died in the early 17th century, leaving behind a legacy that would inspire generations to come. Her story echoes through the ages, reminding us that strength comes in many forms and courage knows no gender. For Sayyida al Hurra was more than just a pirate queen. She was a symbol of resistance, a champion of justice, and a ruler who left an indelible mark on the history of the Mediterranean. And though centuries have tried to erase her from the pages of history, her memory lives on in the hearts and minds of those who dare to dream of a world where women can be anything they want to be, where they can defy the odds and shatter the glass ceilings that society seeks to impose. Sayyida's story is a beacon for those who face adversity, a guiding light for those who dare to challenge the status quo. She was a true visionary, a leader who saw beyond the confines of her time, a ruler who fought not just for herself, but for her people, her city, and her world. In a world that often seeks to silence women, to confine them to the shadows, Sayyida al Hurra emerged as a shining example of female empowerment. She defied the expectations of her society, proving that women can be warriors, leaders, and conquerors. Her story is a testament to the power of the human spirit, the indomitable will to survive, to thrive, and to leave an enduring legacy. And so, the tale of Sayyida al Hurra, the pirate queen, continues to echo through the corridors of history, inspiring awe, admiration, and a deep sense of gratitude for a woman who dared to be different, who dared to break the mold, and who dared to dream of a better world. The Black Ink Society aims to bring you stories about people like Sayyida al Hurra, whose stories have been purposely forgotten by the mainstream. I hope her story inspires you and many others who yearn to see themselves represented in narratives that celebrate their strength and brilliance. I am putting in the work to ensure I can tell more stories that highlight the beauty of. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with new videos. You can also support the Black Ink Society through the link in the bio. Thank you for watching and joining me in amplifying these important voices and stories. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of Sayyida al Hurra before and what you admire most about her. The Black Ink Society, like, comment, share, and subscribe.